Hey, what's going on? It's Mando Crusader, and welcome to MTGA Arena. And today we're going to be taking a look, or a second look, at historic Rakdos Arcanist. So, a few weeks ago, I made my first video on this deck, and I played a few best of one games on it, and had a great time, and I said I'd be revisiting it once the mana base was more filled out. Because at the time, I was using the Bloodfell Caves instead of the Shocklands, and the mana base was just all around very scuffed. But now, while I still don't have the Checklands, I have gotten the Blood Crypts. I have gotten the Shocklands. So, then that has just made the deck so much more consistent. It's really, really, really nice. And I just wanted to give it another spin now that the mana base is considerably less scuffed and see how it does. Because when I play it off camera, it really tears up the meta. And we're actually this time going to be playing best of 3 instead of best of 1. So that's just, I just thought I'd give you a heads up. So the deck list is exactly the same as it was last video, with one exception. Instead of having 4 Bloodfell Caves, I now have 4 Blood Crypts. And that's only a good thing, because Bloodfell Caves was easily the worst card in this deck, and now it's gone with a much, much better card. So, yep, that's about it. Just a really quick overview. Our companions, Luris, we've got Bloodchief's Thirst, Fatal Push, Inquisition, Spark Harvest, Thoughtseize, Village Rice, Claim the Firstborn, Faithless Looting. All of these cards that we can recur with our Arcanist. We got Stitcher's Supplier to fill the graveyard. Arcanist to make the deck work. Young Pyromancer for some token generation, extra value. Cruxa as our finisher. Claim to get back cards we need, as well as the other part, Fame, for extra damage, and to recur our Kolaghan's Command, which is one of the best cards in the deck. I love this card. I love this card. Aghanim's Awakening for some extra land, or to get cards back if we absolutely need to. We've got the mana base, Castle Lockvein, some swamps, some mountains, pathways, Blood Crypts, a couple of Fatal Passages, nothing special. The sideboard, we've got some extra removal, Bloodchief's Thirst, Fatal Push, Feed the Swarm for more specialized stuff, Duress for control matchups, Soul Guide Lantern for graveyard, a Braid in case we need some artifact hate, and Magma Spray specifically dedicated to kill Arclight Phoenixes. That's about it. Again, there's no other changes besides the Blood Crypts. So, yeah, that's the deck. Before we get into playing it, though, I just want to say that, hey, if you like this video, or any of my other videos, leave a like. It really helps the channel out. Subscribe, ring the bell. That helps my channel out as well. And leave a comment below. I do take deck requests in both MTGA and MTGO. And I also take game requests, so leave any games or decks you'd like me to play in the comments below, and I'll do the best that I can to play them. And, yeah, that's about it. Let's get into some games. Alright, let's go. By the way, I do want to mention that while it says we are in Platinum, this is a mulligan by hand, by the way. While it does say we are in Platinum, it is the beginning of the season right now. And because of that, it really means we are facing all of the Mythic players who are trying to rank back up in their season rewards. So, yeah, in reality, we are actually playing, Mythic players. And it looks like we are up against JESKAI control. Definitely JESKAI control. So let's take a little Thoughtseize here. And even if we don't get to see their hand, alright. That is perfectly acceptable for us. Let's see. Yep, there's another Lightning Helix, and they do have Gideon of the Trials. I'm going to take away the Gideon. We can deal with a Lightning Helix. We can absolutely deal with a Lightning Helix. Do with a little bit of land, though. Let's put our Crocs up. Assuming that they don't have a memory lapse. They do not. They take the 3 with an island by discarding an island. And they use the Lightning Helix. And already our opponent is top decking. Which I find to be very, very good for us. I think we're gonna see what happens here. Alright, this is great for us. So, okay. We're going to waste the Inquisition because we need some extra card draw. So we're going to Village Rites the Elemental. Grab Thoughtseize and a Stitcher's Supplier. See what they've got in hand. Ionize. That is perfectly fine. Because that means the way is free and clear for our Dreadhorde Arcanist. And that is literally just what we want to see right there. That is just what we want to see. So, I am going to shock in the Blood Crypt, and it is time for Croxadaddy to come in and do his work. Let's see. And we're going to get rid of the Stitcher Supplier. All right. All attack. Village Rites one of the elementals. Create another. Draw some cards. And unless they draw a board wipe, they are dead. They are still dead. They did not draw the correct board wipe. And that's that. Quick, simple, easy, bang, bang, bang. You know, I'd clap, but I don't want to blow out the mic. Let's see. So we need to take out claim the firstborn. That doesn't do anything for us. Income the 2 duress, and I think just the extra Blood Chief's Thirst should be fine. Unless, do we want to side in a little bit of artifact hate in case they get a graveyard hate artifact out? You know what? No, I'm gonna live dangerously. I'm just gonna put in the extra Blood Chief's Thirst and leave it at that. So with game 1 under our belt, and we go twice, 2 times. So, even if we lose this game, we are guaranteed to go first in game 2. And here comes Potentially removal. Okay, no removal. Do we get lapsed or countered this time? The village rights. Does it resolve? The village rights resolves. All right. And there's our Thoughtseize, so that we can continue to just absolutely destroy our opponent's hand. I think we want a swamp. Always a good thing to have. Right. I think we Thoughtseize. Let's see how bad their hand is. And the good thing is, even if we get countered, which we don't, ooh, they've got a lot of good things. Let's kill. We can deal with Lightning Helix. We can deal with Anger. We can even deal with Ionize. I want to get rid of Teferi, because Teferi is actual horrendousness for everyone involved. Alright. And the thing about Thoughtseize or Inquisition or whatever against these decks is that even if it gets countered, you still got a counter out of their hand. So it's still really doing what you want it to do. Right. So we are going to... you know what? Let's save that for next turn. Croxa out. Make our opponent discard something. And they discard the Lightning Helix. Actual good stuff here. Now, Anger is... that makes it go to exile. So we want to be careful with our Arcanist here. Oh, oops. Because we don't want our Arcanist to get exiled. Ideally... do they get a Teferi? A second one? They got Narset. Okay. That is very less than ideal. There we go. Found the Teferi. Right. So... I really could use some land, to be honest, but... I would like to Kolaghan's Command. Make sure they only get one use out of Narset. And unless they have Memory Lapse, they can't counter it. Anger is in the graveyard. It's not as good as having Teferi out in the graveyard, but I will take it. There's our fourth land. And we are going to try to Blood Chief's Thirst the Teferi. Burn one of their counters. And we're going to try again next turn. And hopefully... well, it may be too dangerous next turn. Sarkhan the Masterless. And that's probably their finisher. And there's our pathway. I think this particular game may be lost. I mean, we have to try and kill the Teferi. You have to at least try. And if we can't... Alright, yep, okay. So, we weren't really able to affect... We kind of got a little mana starved there, unfortunately. Right. What can we do? Well, I think this is the best thing, the best setup here. And we do get to go first this time. So I think as long as you control our opponent's hand like this, then everything should be fine. And our opponent has taken a mulligan. You love to see it. Search for Anzadika or Narset. Search is by far worse longer term. Bring out Stitchers. And at this point, the grace period is over. So we basically had 2 turns to do whatever we wanted without worrying about counters. Well, actually, now that I'm looking at this, it seems that we have 3 turns to do whatever we want. We are going to shock in Agadims. Sacrifice the Stitchers to the Village Rites. We get a Faithless Looting. That is partially acceptable. Let's see. We don't need Castle Lockvein. We don't need a 3rd Stitchers. Put another one out. We have a Kroxa in hand. No Arcanists in the graveyard. That's a little concerning. Because we've gone through the first third of our deck now, and not a single, not Kroxas. Not a single... Arcanist. Get rid of Narset. Put in Kroxa. And no attacks because of Gideon. Definitely take the stride. Just block. Get 3 more cards in the graveyard. Still no Arcanist. I'm getting a little miffed now. Right. We do have plenty of things in the graveyard, though, to bring out Kroxa. So, I hope... We know what one of their cards is. I hope that isn't a counter spell. That would be very unlucky. Nope, Kroxa resolves. Second Gideon in the graveyard. And now this is, like, again, this is exactly where we want our opponent. They're practically top decking at this point. That we know at least, we know half of their hand, right? And even though it says target permanent, blah, 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 that's fine. Because when Kroxa attacks, we still get them to discard a card. So we're going to bring Lurrus in hand. We are still going to attack with Kroxa to keep their hand down. We want to keep them getting rid of their hand. Lightning Helix is gone. That is fine. They had a land in hand. They cycle it. So now they have 2 cards. There's Narset, unfortunately. And now the hand curation can begin on their end. But alright, they do have Wrath. That is fine, though. We still get to make them discard a card. There's Ionize. So they are, if they don't Wrath this turn, I will be shocked. There it is. But that's still fine, though. That's still fine. They get 1 more draw from Narset. And it is Search for Exotica. Arcanist in. Do we have Kolaghan's Command in the graveyard? We do not. Okay. We need to be... Okay, so they are in a very dangerous position right now. We need to be very, very careful with how we spend our mana. We need to be very careful. So, we can either bring in Kroxa, or we can claim a Stitcher Supplier and then Spark Harvest. Or, actually, you know what we're going to do? Here's what we're going to do. We're going to bring in Kroxa. Right? Use a timeout. Because we need to think a second. That's fine. It happens. Make them discard a card. Oh no, I forgot the fame. We need to fame it. Okay. It's fine. This worked out even better. This worked out great. This actually worked out great. So, both attack. We just want Kroxa to attack. We want the Arcanist to attack Narset. Dreadhorde Arcanist with Bloodchief's Thirst. We want to cast Bloodchief's Thirst with the kicker on Gideon of the Trials. Kill Gideon. Kill Narset. And with Kroxa, they discarded their Cleansing Nova. So now, they are actually, like, top-decking now, for the most part. They do have Search for Exotica out, which is very less than ideal. But I have, let's see. Okay, so they're going to do 3 damage from Kroxa, 1 from Dreadhorde. Okay. 3 from Kroxa, 1 from Dreadhorde, then 6 from Kroxa, so 9, 10. I have lethal right here. So just bring back Young Pyromancer. Then, Fame Kroxa. Fame Kroxa again. And attack. I guess we'll just village rights. And that is game. What? Oh, alrighty then. Apparently, we are at one... There are 1 damage. Oh my... I actually don't believe this. I don't believe this. I don't believe this is happening to me. Never mind. We almost lost it. I almost messed it up. But, never mind. It all worked out in the end, so, it doesn't matter. Nothing matters. I didn't almost mess up. I did exactly what I meant to do, okay? Exactly what I meant to do. But, anyway, regardless of me almost messing up, that is the... JESKAI controls the top deck in the meta right now, and we just beat it. We just beat it in a best of 3 game. And that's what if you can just that's what this deck can do. I'm stumbling over my words because I'm so excited. But this is this deck. You just control your opponent's hand. And that's exactly what we did right there. So, yeah, that's a really good match. That's a really good match, a really good showcase of what this deck can do even against the top deck in the meta. Alrighty. We are on the play. This is a horrible hand. That's a mulligan. This hand isn't much better, but actually it's not really better at all, if we're being honest. I suppose we do have Young Pyromancer, bin the Agadeems, or bottom the Agadeems, I should say. At least we can enter this tapped and save ourselves 2 life. Alright. Put Young Pyromancer into play. And unless they put a red source right now, I think we're definitely Azorius. Watching Spheres. Alright. Alright, so we are dealing with Flyer Tribal right here. Make our opponent discard a card, kill the Watcher of the Spheres. And hope they don't play anything too obnoxious this turn. Alright, Skyclave Apparition. That's a bit obnoxious. Let's see. So you can put out Stitcher Supplier. If we have one more black source, we could claim and then fatal push the apparition. But we don't have one more black source. If we drew a land next turn, we could put out Kroxa turn 4. Our opponent must have some kind of removal in hand. Well, let's find out. What a fortuitous Thoughtseize. And either way, either we take something out of their hand, or we get a counter out of their hand. Either way is fine by me. And they do have Lofty Denial. They've got Nubblegast Herald. Whoop. Sorry about that. My phone went off there. I think get rid of the Nubblegast Herald. No attacks. End the turn. And if they do what I think they're going to do, there we go. Spectral Sailor. And I am going to Fatal Push that Spectral Sailor. Or at least get the Lofty Denial out of hand. Nope. Either way would have worked. Our opponent is now very, very, low on cards. That is a trap. That is a very, very big trap. We need to wait until we have one more mana before we can put out our Kroxa. We can't put out this Kroxa, though. And what does our opponent have for us? They can't lock the denial. Taking the 3. Alright. Now, if we really wanted... You know what, let's do it. Claim the Kroxa. Lofty Denial out of their hand. And now they just take 3 damage. And, unless they draw a counter this turn, Shacklegeist, that's fine. Actually fine, because... Wait. Okay. So it looks like I was actually wrong. By the way, we are getting Kroxa back. We are escaping Kroxa. It looks like I was wrong. We are not facing Choir Tribal. It looks like we're facing Abazan Spirits. So, yeah. And, depending on what our opponent draws this turn, we have lethal. Let's see. I would like to cast Claim the Firstborn on Sky Clear Devotion. So, still manages to do that. Play Croxa. I suppose we'll just poke for 4. And again, unless he has an answer here, we do have lethal. Oh. We must have something. Because now he can't use Shackle. He can still use Shackle, guys. Alright. Rattle Chains. Flash it in. And, I mean, we still win. Alright. Well, that was easy. What do we want, out of our sideboard, though? To be honest, I think we just need to side in the extra removal. And we should be good. Is Duress good in this matchup? Should we use Duress? I don't think so. I think we should be fine. We should be fine. I don't think our opponent's employing any, like, board wipes. Most creature-based white decks don't, right? So, I think as long as we kinda sort of play around the, lofty denials, we should be fine. My goodness. I think this is probably a mulligan. Maybe. I shouldn't keep this hand. But I'm going to, still. Ascendant Spirit. Well, you know what? It's a good thing I did keep that hand. Right. Shacklegeist. Watcher of the Spheres. I think Watcher of the Spheres. You don't want them getting, to cast their stuff for cheaper. We want to burn through their counters. That's perfectly fine. As they buff their Ascendant Spirit. Let's get Colligan's command. Are they gonna burn the Lofty Denial? Oh no, they can't. Okay, never mind. I should have played Arcanist this turn. That's a mistake on my part. Okay, you know what? That's fine. They burned the Lofty Denial anyway. Four flyer. Get rid of Sky Cleave Apparition, please, and thank you. And get rid of Shacklegeist. Now, if we top deck removal, any removal, except like Spark Harvest, Remorseful Cleric, okay. All right. Alrighty then. So Duress wouldn't have helped us there. I think all we just need to do is just get more removal. Take out a okay, so I'm gonna take out a Croxa. And most of the spirits are pretty low powered. Magma Spray. I'm just gonna put in a one-off Magma Spray. Just extra removal. Magma Spray is also recurable. And 2 should be enough to deal with most of it. I am on the draw. I will go first with a hand like this. Stitchers, 2 Thought Seizes, Fatal Push. Let's see. Settle the Wreckage, Supreme Phantom. I think we're gonna get rid of their lords. Actually, no, we're not going. Actually, never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about. All right, get rid of 1 Supreme Phantom, and they top deck another. I absolutely hate when that happens. Watcher of the Spheres. Kill that. And I'm gonna need to actually start getting some of my good cards. So let's get our Stitcher Supplier in. Let's Colligan's command it. Make him discard a card. And deal 2 damage. This is 1 above. It would have been really nice if I could have taken that. And there's a Ascendant Spirit. And we get a mountain. Let's escape Croxa. Hopefully they don't have a counter. And I've calculated not. Alright. What are they going to get rid of? They have Settle the Wreckage and a mystery card. That was a Noblegeist Herald. Alright. I could really use a village rights right now. Or just any removal would be great. There's Watcher Spears, and now they're just gonna start steamrolling out of control. Let's see. Suppose we can get him to discard the Settle the Wreckage. And that's game. Alright. That is game. Now, we were coming back from the situation, right? We did have no cards in hand, but we did have Dreadhorde Arcanist, and with that, next turn, we could have Fatal Pushed either the Supreme Phantom or the Ascendant Spirit, and we really could have started the comeback process. We weren't exactly out of the woods, but we were a big step closer to being out of the woods, especially with the Settle the Wreckage out of the way. So, yeah, that was... I can kind of see why he conceded. The writing was kind of starting to be on the wall there. Alright, and that's Rakdos Arcanist Video 2. Yeah, I absolutely love this deck. It's super, super, super fun to play. And as we saw in that first game against JESKAI Control, it can go toe-to-toe with the top-tier meta decks and come out of it alive. It's so good. It's really, really fun. I already said that, but I just adore this deck. I'm stumbling over my words. I love it so much. Yeah, basically, the only upgrade left in this deck is to get the check lands, obviously. But that's about it. There is one more exciting thing to note, though, and that is, I feel that this deck is very well positioned to improve come Historic Horizons on the 12th. I think it's the 12th. Because just already one of the biggest upgrades this deck can get is Bone Shards, which is basically just Spark Harvest, but instead of having the option to pay 3 and a black to use it, you can just discard a card and use it. While also potentially sacking a creature. It's such a good upgrade over Spark Harvest. And then there's also things you could get, like Dragon Rage Channeler is really, really nice in a deck like this that cares about having cards in the graveyard. Also, obviously, Seasoned Pyromancer could potentially be a big replacement for Young Pyromancer. Of course, you'd have to ditch Lurrus for Seasoned Pyromancer, but that's logistics that we'll get into once Historic Horizons comes out. But regardless, I think this deck could see a real jump in power come Historic Horizons. So I can't wait for that. I highly recommend trying this deck out. It's super, super fun. That's the third time I said that now, but it really is. And as this video shows, it can win games. It can really win games. But that's about it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, remember, leave it a like, subscribe, ring the bell, and, yeah, comment any decks that you'd like me to play, either here or MTGO, or any games that you'd like me to play. I take requests for both. And, yeah, that's about it. See ya.